3 wins, 3 straight races, and now 2 former champions are reportedly pushing NASCAR to take a closer look at Denny Hamlin and everything connected to him. Something inside the garage just shifted, and not everyone is staying quiet about it. What started as another massive victory for Denny Hamlin at Pocono Raceway has quickly turned into one of the most talked about stories inside the NASCAR garage. And this isn't just about who won on Sunday. This is about trust, competition, and a conversation that has been building all season long. One that finally reached a breaking point after the Great American Getaway 400 on June 14, 2026. Hamlin started from the pole, dominated the afternoon, led 28 laps, and took the lead for good with just 4 laps remaining, holding off the no. 45-23 XI Racing Toyota of Tyler Reddick by 1.678 seconds in a dramatic fuel-saving finish to the checkered flag. The win was clean. Post-race inspection came back completely clear. The victory is officially in the books. But what happened after that checkered flag fell is what every driver, crew chief, and team official inside the garage is now talking about. This was no ordinary win. This was Hamlin's record 8th career victory at Pocono Raceway, extending his own record at the track they call the Tricky Triangle. More than that, it marked the first time in his 2 one-year full-time Cup Series career that Hamlin has won 3 consecutive races: Nashville, Michigan, and now Pocono. With 64 career victories, he now sits 9th on the sport's all-time wins list, moving ahead of his former teammate, the late 2-time series champion Kyle Busch. And the timing of that milestone carries serious weight. Busch passed away unexpectedly just weeks ago, and the entire sport is still feeling that loss. What makes this run even more remarkable is who is doing it. Hamlin is 45 years old, the oldest full-time driver in the Cup Series field. He signed a 2-year extension with Joe Gibbs Racing that runs through 2027, and he has repeatedly said it will be his final deal. But based on what he's producing right now, that conversation is already being reopened inside the garage. JGR co-owner Heather Gibbs addressed it directly after Pocono. At this rate, what he's producing out there, it's not something you would not consider. She said, "We want the best drivers in our cars. Our teams work to put the best cars on track. If it works out, and he's still producing, and he wants to, it's a huge commitment for him." Hamlin himself didn't hold back either when asked about the team's current level of confidence. "I would certainly say it's the best we've been," he said. "We come to the racetrack every week knowing we got a great shot to win. The team's doing an amazing job giving me exactly what I need in the car every single week. That's why we're winning." And there's one more personal detail that makes this Pocono victory feel like something out of a movie. Sunday's win came nearly 20 years to the exact date of his very first career victory, which also happened at Pocono on the 11th of June 2006. He swept both races at the Pennsylvania track that year. Nearly 2 decades later, he's doing it again. But while Hamlin was celebrating in victory lane, something else was happening across the garage that would become the bigger story of the week. Tyler Reddick entered Pocono with a comfortable lead atop the NASCAR Cup Series championship standings, a lead that had reached triple digits at its peak. After Hamlin's victory and Reddick's second-place finish, that advantage collapsed to just 19 points. It is the smallest margin atop the standings all season for the 5-race winner, Reddick. "It's a bummer," Reddick admitted after the race. "Everyone is racing hard for track position. Some of it's just bad luck, I guess, where you catch cars. Scoring the points we did just didn't get the job done. With only 10 races remaining to set the 1-6, driver Chase Field, the championship picture has completely flipped. The points bubble is razor thin right now. Shane Van Gisbergen sits 14th, just 10 points clear of 17th place Brad Keselowski. Eric Jones and Austin Cindric are ranked 15th and 16th respectively, both just 4 points above the cut line. Behind Keselowski, Joey Logano sits 21 points out of 16th place. Every single race from here forward carries enormous consequences, and Hamlin has turned himself into the hottest driver in the sport at exactly the right moment. Toyota has now won 10 of 16 races in 2026. JGR alone accounts for 5 of those victories. And when you zoom out and look at the full picture of this season, Reddick's historic early season run followed immediately by Hamlin, stacking wins back to back to back, a growing number of people inside the garage started asking questions they weren't willing to ask publicly. Here is where the story gets complicated. According to multiple industry sources, several drivers and team officials have reportedly been pushing NASCAR to take a closer look at the cars coming out of both Joe Gibbs Racing and 2311 Racing. Not because anyone has stepped in front of a microphone and accused either organization of breaking the rules, but because of the sustained, extraordinary level of performance these two teams have been delivering for months. The concern being raised, according to those familiar with the discussions, is less about direct accusations and more about whether NASCAR should significantly increase its inspection efforts, given what is being witnessed week after week. The relationship between the two organizations sits at the center of this entire discussion. Denny Hamlin isn't just a driver for Joe Gibbs Racing. He is also the co-owner of 2311 Racing alongside NBA legend Michael Jordan. The two teams maintain a long-standing technical alliance, with 23XI receiving support and equipment through that partnership. Alliances are nothing new in NASCAR. They have existed throughout the sport for years. But some competitors reportedly believe the depth of the connection between these two specific organizations, combined with the results they keep producing, deserves a level of scrutiny that isn't currently being applied. The two names that have emerged as the most vocal supporters of expanded inspections are significant. According to reports, two former Cup Series champions, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski, have been pushing hardest behind the scenes for NASCAR to go deeper. And it is critical to be precise about what that actually means. Neither Logano nor Keselowski has publicly accused Joe Gibbs Racing or 2311 Racing of cheating. That distinction matters. What they are reportedly calling for is deeper post-race reviews, more extensive technical examinations, and a closer look at components that may be shared between allied organizations. In other words, verify everything and remove any doubt. One source reportedly told ESPN something that captures exactly why this conversation has gained so much traction inside the garage. JGR and 2311 are connected in ways that no other organizations are. And when those same connected organizations keep showing up at the front of the field every single weekend, it becomes increasingly difficult for competitors to simply look the other way. After Pocono, NASCAR announced that 6 cars would be returning to the Research and Development Center in Concord, North Carolina, for further inspection. The nose 5, 7, 12, 17, 42, and 45. Notably, that list includes Tyler Reddick's No 45 23 XI Racing Toyota. It is important to be clear, selection for R&D inspection does not indicate a rules violation. NASCAR routinely sends vehicles back for additional examination as part of its standard competition and inspection process. But given the current climate inside the garage, that detail did not go unnoticed. Then there is the Bubba Wallace angle, and this one is worth paying close attention to. Wallace is one of the most outspoken personalities in the entire NASCAR garage. Whether people agree with him or not, he has never been shy about making his opinions known on nearly every major topic that surrounds the sport. That is what makes his silence throughout this particular discussion so striking. According to reports, multiple competitors inside the garage have privately noticed that Wallace has said almost nothing about the growing conversation surrounding JGR and 2311. A veteran crew member reportedly pointed out that Bubba usually has something to say about most major topics around the garage, making his decision to stay away from this one something people have clearly taken note of. The reason is not difficult to identify. Wallace drives the number 23 Toyota for 23EXI Racing, the team sitting directly at the center of this controversy. Would he have stayed this quiet if the same suspicions were being directed at a different organization? That is the question competitors are asking privately. Joe Gibbs Racing and 2311 Racing have both responded firmly. Team representatives from both organizations strongly rejected any suggestion of wrongdoing, pointing directly to NASCAR's technical review process and emphasizing that both organizations have already cleared numerous inspections throughout the 2026 season. Hamlin himself was completely dismissive of the speculation after the race. His message was straightforward and direct. Everything his team has accomplished has been earned. Every car goes through inspection, and his team knows exactly what it is doing within NASCAR's rules. Confidence comes with winning 3 straight races, and right now, Hamlin has plenty of both. NASCAR officials declined to address Joe Gibbs Racing or 2311 Racing specifically, but reiterated that all organizations are subject to the same inspection procedures and that additional examinations can be conducted at any point. Officials believe they are necessary. The bottom line at this moment, there is no formal investigation, there are no announced penalties, and there are no public findings suggesting any rules have been broken. To understand how this situation reached this point, it helps to look at the full arc of 2026. Early in the season, Fox Sports analyst Kevin Harvick was already trying to explain what 2311 was doing differently. They have hit the balance a little better than everybody else, Harvick said. I think Toyota has the best car right now. Tyler Reddick has stepped up from a maturity standpoint just in his leadership of the team. Harvick also identified something that goes beyond just raw speed. When you get confidence in this sport as a driver and as a team, that can help to overcome a lot of things, he said. You can't beat fast cars, and Tyler Reddick has stepped up to be able to deliver on those fast cars. Confidence and speed are hard to beat. There is also a broader financial theory circulating that connects the dots across the entire season. 23XI Racing won its charter court case against NASCAR over the winter, a legal victory that, according to the argument their own lawyers made, was expected to attract greater investment into the team by giving owners a guaranteed, tangible stake in the series. If that investment increased following the legal win, it would directly translate into improved resources, improved equipment, and ultimately improved performance on track. The numbers on the scoreboard in 2026 are consistent with exactly that kind of step forward. And Hamlin added one more layer to all of this after the race, taking a direct jab at NASCAR by reminding everyone that he technically has 9 wins at Pocono, not 8. One of those victories was stripped from him in 2022 when NASCAR ruled his car failed post-race inspection. They aren't getting that checkered flag back, Hamlin said. As long as Hamlin keeps winning races and Reddick remains one of the fastest drivers in the series, the questions are going to keep coming. The spotlight on Joe Gibbs Racing and 2311 Racing is only going to get brighter. The NASCAR Cup Series now heads to Naval Base Coronado in San Diego for the inaugural street course race, a brand new challenge where Hamlin will arrive carrying more momentum than anyone else in the garage. And Christopher Bell, who raced at Pocono through the pain of a broken left wrist suffered at Michigan, now faces 2 consecutive weeks on road and street courses where shifting is heavily demanded. The human element inside JGR's dominance story is as compelling as the championship math surrounding it. 3 wins, 3 straight races, and a garage full of people watching every move these two organizations make.